Romeo, Romeo. Nah, just kidding. Though my childhood dream was to become an actress. Not merely for the lure of fame, though that certainly held some appeal, but I marveled at how actors could slip into entirely new identities, living lives far removed from their own. For years, I convinced myself that this dream is unattainable. I hesitated to embrace change or seek new opportunities. Therefore, my life remained small and disconnected from the stage. Through reflection, a practice I later discovered as a tool for growth, I came to a striking realization. I had always been an actress, long before I recognized it. Everyday life, I realized, is its own theater. In experimenting with different versions of itself, I had always been performing. Reflection taught me to see these moments not as mundane, but as scenes and a lifelong play where I simultaneously scripted into my own story. Let's dive into Act 1 of my life, the tomboy phase. Okay, picture this, a young and fearless me with my hair tied up, ready to conquer the playground. I was a kid who couldn't sit still. I was fearless, outgoing, energetic, and always the first to react to others' invitation, whether it's a game of tag or a race to see who could finish a lunch the fastest. I was also the kid who started the trend of bringing a change-up clothes to school. Why? Because I was the only one who played in the mud. It got my clothes really dirty. My classmates called me a tomboy, and they loved my characteristics since I could cheer everyone up, and I wore that label like a badge of honor, even though I had to hollow out my energy to maintain this. But secretly, this wasn't my actual role. I was exhausted every day. And I kept playing the role because I felt like laughter is love. We all wear masks. This isn't the problem. The problem comes when you forget that you're wearing one. My first clue to change is constant exhaustion. If you had to drain yourself to maintain your role, then it's definitely time for a rewrite. In middle school, I got a chance to start all over again. Because of family reasons, I had to transfer to another school. I threw away the tiring tomboy mask and put on a new one, but without properly reflecting. So here comes Act 2 of my life, the ladylike scholar. Yes, you heard that right. I went from playing in the mud to quoting Shakespeare, and went from having my hair tied up to having shoulder length there. I was quiet, polite, and always had my nose buried in a book. When my classmates had fun during lunch, I memorized vocabulary. When my classmates skipped study hall, I was at the teacher's office memorizing vocabulary and asking questions on my math. I mean, it worked. Teachers adored me. My grade report, glowing. Scholarship, I had them all. My social life, let's just say that my only prom invitation came from the librarian. And it was through a shelf of novels, not to the actual prom. I traded friendship for grades, thinking that achievements will solve everything. It didn't, because I skipped the most important part, reflection. Blindly changing doesn't really help you reflect. Now I just slip into another role that doesn't fit again. And I soon felt exhausted because it's not the right role. A school year later, guess what? I returned to my very first school. You got me, right? What does this mean? Another perfect chance to change, since I don't think anyone will remember me after so long. And welcome to Act 3 of my life, the invisible student. Invisible, very invisible. I was still quiet and still polite, but very quiet. I sat at the very back of the classroom and avoided chances to speak to people. And I soon realized that this is actually just redoing the last act of my life. On a random day, when my friend saw me, we were on like a hallway. She looked in my direction, smiled, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I love your dress." Oh my gosh, someone just talked to me again. I was so eager and so excited to reply, so I immediately smiled back at her again. "Oh my gosh, that's so nice of you. I like your dress too." But actually, the truth is, she was talking to her friend right behind me, and she didn't even know my name. That second, I just couldn't ignore the issue anymore. All my decisions and emotions were tied and gained from others. I constantly thought about what I should do and could do to treat others and call attention to me. But in return, I only drain myself up. I finally asked the hard question, why does this mask feel so heavy? Why am I playing a role that doesn't fit? I wrote down every single fear and tackled them one by one. Slowly, I built a version of myself that I don't need to hide. It was only with reflection and the courage to change that I finally found my actual characteristic. Fast forward to high school, and here I am, outgoing, cheerful, and socially confident. For those of you who know MBTI, I am an ENTJ. I love sharing my opinions, engaging in debates, and connecting with people, which I believe that you, my friends, can tell from me standing here. I attended activities like MUN, the play, and other opportunities that I can show myself. It is like I come full circle, but with a small little twist. This time, I'm not just playing a role, I'm actually owning it. I like my present characteristic very much right now, but I will also discard it without hesitation, without a single hesitation, if I find that this role doesn't fit again. So you see, life has been my stage, and I played the role from the comic relief to the dramatic lead. But also, there is a serious side to this part. Behind the scenes, self-reflection is like the backstage mirror where you see yourself and actually reflect on yourself. It's where you see the smudges, the rips, the places where the glitter just won't stick. And it's when that you can see your actual self. Life is a stage, and we're all actors, but the roles we play aren't just costume. What are them? They're bridges that connect to different people and different versions of yourself in different worlds. Guys, don't fear change. Don't resist self-reflection, and most importantly, don't shy away from trying. Because every role you play and every mask you wear brings you one step closer to who you are and who you can become. So, cut the lines that don't fit. Fire the imaginary critics in your head. And remember, the best roles aren't played or acted, but they're lived. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a mud pond to revisit. This time, not to please anyone, just for fun. Thank you.